just had my initial interview, and I will say they are on like a next level. Like, you will be quizzed. Do not get the email saying, hey, have a look at the website, and you don't look at the website. Do not skim the website. Actually read the website. I keep looking over here because I'm looking at myself, but I need to be looking at you guys. Read the website because they will quiz you. Like, there were questions like, do you remember what the pay is? And you had to give like the exact number, but that I knew. You thought you'd get me, I knew what the pay was. It was very specific, like, do you remember the dress code? Can you tell me about the dress code? Do you remember the working hours? Do you remember the hours of operation of this company? Do you remember when you will be working? Do you remember the breakdown of those hours? They quiz you on like very little things that I haven't found in applying for other countries and applying to other jobs. As you guys know, I've taught English in China, and the application process was much different. It was much more relaxed. It was much more like, you know, you get on the phone, you guys obviously talk about the position, but they're really more listening for your accent. I found that during my Japanese interview, it was not about your accent. Like, obviously, you have to speak proper English. It was more about, are you going to be a good fit? Do you know that you will be working hard? Because like, I find that when Japan and Korea kind of advertises, it's like, oh, you'll have so much time to do other things. Japan is not like that. It's very much, they're letting you know you will be working. This is no game. This is not a vacation. This is not a, I'm gonna come to have fun and sprinkling some teaching. This is gonna be your full-time job. This is what you'll be doing, and then sprinkle in some fun. See, the thing is, I don't mind just because I have worked full-time here in Canada already. So I'm used to a 40-hour week. So I feel like that will be okay for me. But, you know, I was really expecting a little bit more downtime, whatever. Ugh, how dare they ask me to work for my salary, right? So yeah, I just wanted to like sit down and just give you guys a little heads up on that. That definitely they're more stringent, I have found. And it seems like I'll have to wear a jacket every day for work. Like, you would think, so like in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, like this kind of top for me is like quite professional, right? So I would think that this would be okay. For Japan, they like want a jacket on, so it's gonna be like very formal. And that's one thing that I didn't get from, obviously I haven't worked in Korea, but based on what I know, and correct me if I'm wrong, you guys put it in the comments, but that's one thing I didn't get. That's the vibe. I didn't get that vibe from jobs in Korea. They were very like, dress like a person, dress proper, don't be scandalous, and you'll be fine, right? So this would be okay with some jeans. Whereas in Japan, they want formality every day. It doesn't matter if you're teaching 1-year-olds, 2-year-olds, kindergarten, they don't care. You will be in a suit. So that's one thing that I'm gonna have to like grapple with. But you pay me, so I will dress how you want. So that's it for my Japan interview. I have another interview tomorrow. So like I mentioned, the interview I had today was for Japan. The interview I have tomorrow is for a position in Korea. So we're gonna see. The company in Korea is very controversial. You either love it or you hate it. So you know what, I'm gonna hear them out. I've asked a couple expats. I'm in a couple Korean groups. And the feeling that I've got are that, well, it's a company, right? And basically they're franchises in that company. If you work for the main branch, you will most likely be okay. If you work for the franchises, they're owned by different people, and that's where a lot of the problem arises. So I'm gonna hear them out. I'm gonna see if they would like to put me in a branch school. If they are, Korea, here I come, because I really, you know, I've studied Chinese, so going back to China, well, like the language I've studied, so that would be okay. And I've also studied Korean language, so just building on that I think would be perfect. Japan, the exchange rate is up there, but also I haven't studied Japanese before, so it's going to be a whole new learning experience. And we all know, if you know, you know, but I have struggled with French and Spanish just because they're so similar that I would always confuse them. I don't, okay, I'm lying, I confuse. Sometimes I'll use like a Korean word instead of a Chinese word because sometimes the Korean word is more specific to what I want to say. But I think it's gonna really be a challenge, just having so many like random words in my brain. The mind is incredible like that you could learn like so much information and somehow retain it all. But for my levels of confusion, it's not that fun. Okay. So yeah, I have another interview tomorrow for a position in Korea. I will keep you guys posted. So as I mentioned yesterday, today I finished up my interview with a company in South Korea. How did it go? So the whole interview went amazing up until the last question. I answered everything perfectly. We were getting along. It was great. And then she like drops me with the bomb. So the question was, more specifically, describe a difficult situation and how you have handled that. And I literally sat there like, so safe to say I tried my best. Compared to my other answers, she 100% knew that I struggled, 100% knew that I was like, the bullshit, all the bullshit's floating in the air. So if she looks at the whole interview, because we chatted for about like 25 minutes, if the whole thing's taken into consideration, then I still think I'm in good standing. But you know, when these hurdles come at the end of the interview, like if this was my first question, everything else that I did would have been like, wow, I came back and I did much better. This was at the end of the interview, so we shall see. I leave it like Jesus take the wheel on this one, right? So that is how that ended. I have another interview on Sunday for another position in South Korea. So I'll keep you guys posted. I will let you know what's happening with me. Right now, it's just super competitive. So usually I wouldn't be worried about like one job, but I do know that due to Corona, there are significantly less positions. So I really need to get my shit together and I really need to be acing every single interview. I want all the employers falling at my feet and then I'll choose a good one. I don't want to have to be scrambling for a position, right? So keep you guys posted, and now that I have this question, I'm really going to prepare for it on Sunday and just not let this happen to me again. All right. Like an expat reached out and they're like, hey, have you applied to these guys? And so I'm gonna apply to them and I'll keep you guys posted. I did have a recruiter, a Korean recruiter. I've been saying that I was gonna update. It would have been for like the Gyeonggi-do province. But what had happened was Corona doesn't want to see me thrive, okay? Corona is here to hold us all down. So I'm sending in all my documents. We already had an initial interview, all of that. I'm sending in everything they want for him to push me forward to schools. And then Korea basically sent out a notice to foreigners, or to not foreigners, but to recruiters, to foreign teachers, to schools, to everyone. They just sent out a notice really saying that, you know, in previous years they really didn't have to worry about the numbers of current jobs available, but this year the number of applicants significantly outweighs the amount of jobs that they have available. And right now it's kind of like they'll basically let everyone know by I think June 8th. Don't quote me, but my recruiter told me that he'd tell me by the 10th of June, which would make sense. If he gets the information on the 8th, he'll let me know like 2 days later. But I would say if you guys are confused about the process, Korean Ollie, his YouTube channel is really great. I get a lot of information from him, and yeah, definitely check him out. Lots of information there. And I'm sure you guys saw my dog running around. Currently, it's going to be difficult to move with She. I will be moving with She. There's absolutely no way that I can leave my dog, so I really need to finesse her into any company, which is why I've been looking more at private schools, which is why I started. Obviously, I was looking at public schools, and they're the safest, but right now, just bringing my dog to another country, I think it would be a better idea if I go the Hagwon or private school route, just to ensure that She won't be a problem, or just to ensure that it's more accommodating, right? And the thing is, I don't need anyone to accommodate my dog, but what I'm finding is that even when I applied to Epic, I didn't even notice, but in the Epic contract, it says no dogs. And I know that people, there are foreigners there who adopt dogs, or whatever the case is, or sneak their dogs in. But right now, it's kind of like a difficult time, especially with the 14-day quarantine and stuff like that, to be sneaky. So, I don't know why me having a dog in my personal life would affect my work. I don't know why that is stipulated in the contract. But that's why I'm casting my seeds, and we're gonna see which one grows, right? In Japan, I haven't brought up my dog, but also they haven't said no pets. And so, you know what? Don't ask if you're not ready for the answer. So that's the full rundown. I will be making a video on the resources that I've used for anyone who's interested in teaching overseas. I'll give you guys tips, tricks. There are Facebook groups, there are like WeChat groups, there are what is that called? Kakao groups. There's internet links. I will basically give you guys all of that in one separate video, just because I think everyone should have that opportunity just to travel. And if you're too broke to travel, work and travel like myself. And just also, I love meeting people. I love different cultures. And if you're anything like me, if you tick any of those boxes, if you love meeting people, you should go travel and live in another country. If you love working with others, you should travel, you should go work in other countries. If you love sharing your culture and your experiences and just who you are with other people, and you think it'll be beneficial to the world, you should go and work in other countries. So yeah, that's it for now.